My abuser worked for him, and he witnessed him beating me, and he followed us back to our hotel because we were staying in the hotel at the time. When I was getting out the car, we were getting out the car to go into our room. He came and beat his ass. He beat him down, and he said, "If you ever touch her again, I'll kill you."
What's up, everybody? My name is Mel, and welcome to Life Coaching by Mel. Here at Life Coaching by Mel, we speak truth regarding the family. And we do that here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell right next to it so you can get each and every one of my videos. This will spark an invigorating conversation, I'm sure of it. So be sure you hit me in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts. And everybody, do your boy a favor, hit that like button, help me with the algorithm. Guys, I have an amazing conversation today with an amazing guest. Her name is Bridget Cunningham. How you doing today, Bridget?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm doing wonderful. So happy to have you on. Now, Bridget, I'm going through your TikTok. That's where we met on TikTok, and it looks like you got some fashion things going on there. So, are you a fashion designer?
Well, I'm not a designer, but I was a boutique owner for several years here in Atlanta, French Kiss Atlanta and Shoe Bar. But we closed down, but I'm still in the industry, but
Right.
I'm doing other things as well. Yeah.
I love it. I can tell with those glasses. I'm gonna need some pointers. I need some new glasses myself. So I love those you got.
Let me know. Let me know. I got you.
Absolutely. So Bridget has an amazing book that is giving reviews on TikTok. I was able to see some people that was giving you a lot of flowers there, and I got my copy that I'm looking to purchase here soon. It's called Entitled: Create Your Own Title for Your Life Journey, and I'm going to get into that with you, along with a couple of things you said on your TikTok regarding the post and some excerpts you took from the book.
Okay.
But Bridget, I want to start with this here.
Okay.
I saw a viral post that I really just want to get your thoughts on here. If I can get that pulled up, let's see what we're gonna do. There we go. The viral post of a wife that's has something that she wants to admit to the world. Which I don't know why people do this sometimes, Bridget. I'll be honest with you. Some
Mhm.
things I don't keep to myself, but she let us know this, so let's read that. It says, "Why did I let it go so easy to say? I'm sorry. Why did I let it get so easy to say no? Meet the woman who says it's her fault that her husband cheated because she only agreed to have sex with him once every 2 years." It's pretty
Well,
heavy.
I'm a believer that a cheater is a cheater, but I do think it is her fault.
Mm.
Come on now. Absolutely, that's her fault. Once every 2 years, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. I've talked to a lot of women, and some women actually feel like sex is a chore,
Mm.
which is that's crazy to me because that means you don't enjoy it. I enjoy it, so I don't understand why, they feel like it's a chore, but I don't know. That's crazy. Yes, it's absolutely her fault that he cheated on her.
Yeah. I,
Mhm.
I'm happy to hear you say that. I was wondering which way you're going to go with that. But you
Mhm.
say the chore, but also you find oftentimes women weaponize sex regarding marriage. They penalize a man thinking that that's the thing that they can use to manipulate or to use as a chess piece, so to speak. If you
Mhm.
had to get it sounds like that's not your position, but if you had to get into the minds of those women, why don't you think, or maybe some conversations you had with other women, why do you think those women choose to do that?
I think they choose to do that because they feel like they can control their man with sex,
Mm,
and if he wants to have sex, he's gonna have sex. Period. It's not, you're withholding sex from your mate. If he wants it, he's gonna go out and get it. So you're not controlling him at all. You're
mm,
really, you're doing harm to yourself in your relationship.
yeah.
Now,
So,
I can understand if it's an abusive relationship and you don't want to have, yeah, I get that. I get that. But An argument? Come on.
Yeah. Now we playing. Let me play devil's advocate a little bit, or advocate for those who probably be in the comment section asking this question. Are you saying that no matter what, a woman should be able to give it, other than the beats, of course, we said that a
Hmm.
woman should allow their husband to have sex, and if she doesn't, then it's understandable that he would go out.
If see, no, I believe that a happy couple, both of them should want sex with the other one, regardless of what they are going through. Now, if that woman is cramping, if she has a headache, and sometimes he may not even feel like having sex,
Hmm.
then yeah, your mate should be understanding about that. But if that woman or that man, but 9 times out of 10, I hate to say it, it's going to be the woman withholding sex um, for an argument that can be resolved in a matter of an hour or so, I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong.
Salute to you for that. I mean, you have men all over America right now clapping their hands. And salute to
I
that.
got men clapping their hands, but I got women mad.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. That's what I try to explain. And it is a dual issue. I agree.
Uh-huh.
Because when women ask, why is it so hard for men to, prevent from cheating or prevent from yielding to their lust? I
Hmm.
always say, man, women, y'all got that time, not just the period. Y'all got that time where, you ovulating or right before it or whatever, however that works.
Hmm.
And your horniness or whatever is on a high
Yeah.
peak. So imagine
Yeah.
having that every day. That's what it's like to be a man, and how rational are those decisions that women make during those times?
Right.
So that's what I try to say. So I'm happy that you keeping that balance on that because we do try to make this so much of a man issue.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think especially in marriage. I mean, if you are a believer, I'm not sure your faith, but I'm a believer, and you sustain yourself from marriage if you do so. A lot of people choose to do so
Hmm.
only to be in a marriage that you yet have to sustain yourself even the more
Hmm.
for sometimes irrational reasons. That's a
Hmm.
little hard to hear. It's a little hard to experience.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating in that, ladies and gentlemen. That's a great woman right there in my book, if I had to say. I
Hmm.
want to get into this. The reason I chose to talk about this with you is because a lot of areas that seems like you're referring to on your page is regarding toxic relationships. And
Hmm.
sounds like I said, I haven't got a chance to read your book yet, but it sounds like that's what your book is regarding. So fill us in there, Bridget. Tell us a little bit about your book.
So the book is untitled, Create Your Own Title for Your Life Journey. I wrote the book. I started initially writing the book as therapy for myself
Mhm.
because I learned that once when I write, I feel much better. And then I started thinking, we all have a story. And a lot of our stories, especially women, a lot of our stories are the same, but some of them have a different outcome. I
Mhm.
think I was fortunate.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I was very fortunate. So I made it into a workbook journal. So it's not just a read, it's a workbook journal. And I ask my readers to be very, very honest with themselves, because the book is private. If you're writing in it as your own journal. So those are your thoughts to yourself. I'm asking very um a lot of questions that some people may not want to answer out loud, so they can put it into their journal and keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
So I talk about it's my life journey, and I chose it. I'm not famous, so but but I tried to make it write it to around other women that has gone through the same things that I've gone through, such as abuse, such as rape, such as career change, friendships, true love. A lot of people haven't experienced true love.
Yeah,
You think you love somebody, but why do you love them? You don't even know the reasons. It's not because of great sex. It's not because, oh, they look good. That's not love. So a lot of people have never experienced certain things in life. A lot of people don't know the difference between intimacy and sex,
yeah.
you know.
That's very powerful, man. I think that's important, to have that true conversation with yourself, a true introspective realization of the things that you have experienced, and
Mhm,
that's truly the only way to go forward. To
mhm,
really take account to everything you have experienced, and I think that's essential for everyone,
mhm,
in our
mhm.
journey, this journey we call life.
Yeah.
Uh, I saw you mention somewhere that oftentimes we blame everyone else for our pain, our mistakes, and our problems instead of looking directly at the one in the mirror. And you said that Bridget now is able to do this. So tell us about your life before and after this particular shift taking place.
Well, Mel, I grew up in a very strict Baptist household.
Mm,
Everything had to be perfect. I felt like I had to be perfect. I'll put it like that. Um, so once I got out, I was outside. I was I was outside. I quit college, um, and moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I got mixed in with the wrong people, and life started happening. Everything was going downhill, and I didn't get it. I still didn't get it. And I quit college because I really didn't know what I wanted to do at 17, 18 years old. I really I didn't know. I thought I wanted to be an undercover cop. I thought I did. And yeah. I had to realize I'm just fascinated with that. That's a fascination. It's still a fascination with me. I love crime stories. Um, but I feel like I had to go through everything that I went through to become the person that I am. I feel like if I would have stayed in Virginia, um, with my parents, or just maybe moved away in an apartment or whatever, away from them, I would not have had these same life experiences. I would have still been green to a lot of things. Nothing against my parents. I have great parents. They're the best people. They're my best friends. I didn't get it then.
yeah.
I didn't get their protection. I didn't understand what they were saying because I was hard headed. I was hard headed, and I thought I was missing something out on life, and I was bored. And I'm like, there's got to be more to life than this. And boy, did I find out. But I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones that, a lot of people don't make it. The things that I've seen, the things that I've been through, the things that I've been around, the people that I knew and still know. Um, I could have easily been in prison. I could have easily uh, been like a drug dealer. I could have easily been dead, so I could have easily been a prostitute. I could have. I think someone with a weak mind, it will be easy for them to fall prey to certain things. Yeah. I just thank God that he was always watching over me. Always. I had so many angels through my journey, so many angels. And I just thank God for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. So, what would you say was the shift that took place for you? Like, what was the moment that you would say, like,
That
I was
woke me up.
turned away from? Yeah, that you woke up.
I met this family, the Young family. And one of them, I don't want to. One of them, I'll say he saved my life. I always tell him he saved my life. My abuser worked for him, and he witnessed him beating me, and he followed us back to our hotel because we were staying in a hotel at the time. And when I was getting out the car, we were getting out the car to go into our room. He came and I don't know how explicit I can be. I don't know how how
Oh, no, no, no.
okay. Can I curse? Can I?
Yeah.
um, he came and he beat his ass. He
Mm,
beat him down, and he said, "If you ever touch her again, I'll kill you."
wow.
Yeah, and he said, "Let's go." And I went with him, and he took me to his mother's house. And that entire family accepted me as me as part of their family.
Yeah.
And we're still friends to this day. They're my second family.
Yeah.
One the youngest daughter, we're best friends.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm her son's godmother. So yeah, and that was almost 40 years ago. It was like 35, 36, 30. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
wow. That's
That's
incredible.
friendship. A lot of people can't say they have friends for 35, 40 years. They just
Yeah,
can't.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Obviously,
So the turning
you.
point was that, and when he finally went to jail, and I went to see him in jail, and it wasn't like a federal prison. I don't even know what he was in jail for. It wasn't for what he was doing. It should have been, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was because it was like a state outside because we were outside.
Mhm.
Um, I it was like he could tell I had changed, that I had gotten stronger, and I didn't feel like I needed him. You know how, I don't know if you know, but abusers make you feel like they need you. They make you feel like nobody else is going to be there for you except them. Um, so I did something to him that he did to me.
Mm.
When I left, I spit in his face.
Whew. Oh. Oh man.
Yeah, he did it to me, and I thought that felt worse than a beating almost. That's like the lowest of the low.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah, and I walked away and I never looked back.
Mm.
Yeah. I just wish
That's,
every woman going through that could be that strong. That was only like a 2, 3-year time frame for me. Um, but a lot of women, it's a lifetime because they don't have the strength to get up. They don't know that they can survive without this man. You
mm,
know, they don't know that their family is still there waiting on them. You know, they don't know that there's something else on the other side that's better, or
mm,
they're afraid because they will, come and find you. They will. I mean, he came when he got out of jail. He came to find me, and he did time, but I can't remember how much time he did. But I was still living. I had actually moved um, from Charlotte to South Carolina at that point, and he found me.
mm.
He found me, and um, everyone knew to say they didn't know where I was. I don't know where Bridget is. I haven't seen Bridget in years,
Yeah.
but they were lying, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so powerful. I'm so grateful to God that you survived that and
Oh yeah.
was able to take your strength and
Oh yeah.
you had your Tina Turner in the limo with Ike moment, which
Right.
you had to do it,
I
just
had, I
one
could
for
barely
the road.
watch that movie.
Mm,
I could barely get through it. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I could
yeah,
barely get through it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine, right? Someone who's gone through it, that would be tough for you. I got to just be honest. We're gonna get back to what we're talking about, but that's a sidebar. As someone who's like neutral to those type situations, I would have loved to hear Ike's side of the story because he has come out. There's been a lot of stuff that I came out and like, man, they made a painted a bad picture for my boy. He did some of it, but not all of it. So, and
You
it's
know,
kind of
they
like
did all
the
of it.
movie. The movie came out and her career just went through the roof.
True. That's true. It did. But
But
you
anyway,
could tell Ike was crazy. I could tell. He was definitely an abuser. Hands down. Hands
absolutely, absolutely. So we'll leave that there. But so let's have this conversation because, like I said, you just with so much bravery, just shared that with us. And overall, it sounds like your message regarding toxic relationships is kind of got this undergirded message of controlling. And I heard you talk with one of your friends on one of your videos about just the controlling nature of people in the relationships. And I just want to ask you to start. What does it mean to be controlling, and what causes one to be controlling?
I think what causes one to be controlled, um, I think everything starts from your parents.
Mm,
Children emulate what they see. And as they grow up, they're going to be exactly what they saw. It's if mommy and if daddy was controlling with mom, that son is going to be controlling with his girlfriends, his wife. Yeah. And
mm,
sometimes people get control confused, or like when they say when men say I want a submissive wife, a lot of women think that that's control. I don't think that's control. I don't
mm.
think that's control. Control is more harmful. Control is harmful. So being submissive to the right man, because you can't be submissive to somebody that's not a leader. All men
Absolutely.
aren't leaders. But controlling is like you don't have any say so over anything. You're just there. You're like a bump on the log. And whatever he tells you to do, you do it without any say so. That's control.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
again, I think it starts from the home. It starts when you're young.
Absolutely, man. That's so spot on, right on par. What I talk about a lot in this channel, I talk about toxic mothers a lot because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of people that deal with that, and
Yes.
yeah, we talk about in our community a lot. You got the fuck boys, the f boys out there, and
Yeah.
it's just overall bad guys. And I was like, okay, where these boys coming from? Like they are created, in a home that's more often than not with a single mother,
Mhm.
and she's showing those type of tendencies and basically giving him maybe all he wants and allow him to run the house and everything. And
Mhm.
once he gets in a relationship, he can't accept the word no from somebody.
Mm.
So that's exactly what you see in a lot of these relationships when these women start calling guys narcissists. Well,
Mhm.
you should see where it stems from, and I think you spot on with that.
Thank you. But let's clear it up. It's not all single mothers, because
I didn't say
okay, okay. I know some great single mothers that
absolutely.
yes, they're great single mothers. And it also yeah, I mean, and we can't say the single mothers and they're raising their sons or daughters a certain type of way. That father is not there either, so it's the father's fault as well because he's not even present. He's not present.
I think that's a given, and I'm not here to argue with you.
Okay.
I just want to have a discussion. I think especially the way we have ran or had these type of discussions in our community for so long. You think about early days of Oprah, and then you fast forward to Ayanla, and just so many platforms have been dedicated to pointing out the mishaps of black men and lack of fatherhood, and we know this, but
Mhm.
we can't have our cake and eat it too. We can't. Both things can't be true. If we're saying, black moms are so strong and they're so great, and we give all the superlatives and great kudos to them, and then also say the only reason the reason these kids are the way they are is because the dad wasn't there. Well, which one is it? Like, if she's such a great parent, she's the one that's left there and responsible, for the raising of that child.
Mhm.
So, like you said, it's not all. You got great examples of kids going on to do great things, being raised in single parent households. But if we look at statistics and not just directly to the black family, as is across the board, kids are far more likely to run into issues being raised in single parent houses. However, our community, unfortunately, since the Great Society Act, are leading the nation in out of
Mhm.
wedlock births.
Mhm.
So that's the only reason I pointed out. I'm not saying it's a direct issue. That's the only issue. It's several issues, but
Mhm.
this part of the conversation seems to get overlooked and not talked about enough, in my opinion.
Mm. Mm. I understand what you're saying. I understand it. But we're not here to argue today.
You have something to say? You can say it. I'm not.
I'm
I
I'm
don't. I'm not gonna finish it up.
I'm okay right now. I'm okay.
But definitely, I love hearing all opinions. So
Yeah.
feel free to share that. Now, sticking on the controlling conversation, you kind of went along with the lines with this, but I want to ask it more in depth. So there is, most people believe that you shouldn't change your partner to have a healthy relationship. However, I just want to ask you, isn't change necessary to create that healthy relationship?
Change is necessary. I believe, well, okay. It depends on what we're changing. Like, what are we changing? Are we changing the fact that he's an abuser, or because control is a form of abuse. It's mental abuse.
No doubt.
Um, so are we trying to change that, or are we trying to change the other problems that's in the relationship? What are we trying to change? Or are we trying to grow? What are we doing? Which
Yep.
one is it? Which one are you asking?
Yeah, it's things that I guess we can kind of get to the other questions that they kind of tie in together.
Mhm.
That I had there for you because in a relationship, specifically with a man and woman, if you're a believer, especially, the Bible does instruct men to cultivate your wife, and essentially, you're helping to mold her to help her to become the best version of herself.
Mhm.
So, and it's vice versa. If you ask me, like I think there's definitely things that my wife, for example, has helped me to bring out the best version of myself.
Okay.
So it's those things that make you better. The changes that help you to really accomplish the goals that you have for yourself.
I do believe in that. I do. As far as abuse and control, most of the time that can't be changed. But anything else, I think, especially a marriage, I think it's like a business. You need to treat it like a business because you are um, your reflection of each other. So you should make your wife better. She should make you better. I also feel like couples should come to the table every 6 months, maybe once a year, however many times they feel like they need to, and say, "Hey, are you happy?" Because sometimes we're just going through the motions. We're like robots, and we don't really know if our partner is happy or not. We need to ask these questions. Are you happy? What do I need to do, to make the relationship better? And here's what I feel like you can do to make the relationship better. That's just me,
Yeah,
but I think it works. Yeah.
yeah, no. Those check-ins, you gotta check in.
Weekends are it's like when you have a business, you gotta keep up with the times. You have to um market the business. You have to do everything to keep making the business better. So why not do everything to keep making the relationship better? And another thing that couples often do once they get together, they stop doing the things that they were doing to get the person, which is a mistake.
Yeah.
Because that's what that person fell in love with. That person fell in love with the person that's doing this, that's saying this, that's treating them this way. And then a lot of times when they get the person, they're in this relationship, they just stop or they let themselves go. I feel like people need to keep themselves up too. That you can't feel like, well, I got him now. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. Yes, you do. You got to do it to keep him
Mm,
and to keep her.
that's so true.
Hmm.
100% true. So if we're talking about those type of relationships that people are, thriving in, if you in a wonderful relationship that you want to stay in, things are going well, Bridget. Things are heading in an upward trajectory.
All right.
However, you are seeing remnants or little pieces of control in this person.
Mm.
Can that be fixed, or is a relationship doomed?
Well, first we need to weigh out the pros and the cons. We need to weigh the pros and the cons. Now, if the pros outweigh the cons, I feel like we can work on it. We need to work on it. We need, I need to tell him or he needs to tell me or whatever what the problem is. And if the type of control that's going in starts to outweigh the pros, I don't know, you may have to do some therapy. I'm not one to just say, oh, let's get a divorce. Oh, we need because people are quick. Nowadays people got microwave relationships, quick, and it's over in a second.
Right.
They don't even care. They moved on to the next person without even trying. There's no trying, there's no starting over, there's nothing. It's like, oh, you messed up and that's it. What did I mess up on? What I don't even, sometimes people don't even know. So they can work on it, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you
Uh-oh.
think about it, can you just mention, nowadays, I'm
Mhm.
curious if you have in your mind where this shift took place. That now we just have this microwave relationship society.
I don't know. It's like the generation under me. I don't know how old you are. You're 37? Well, it's your
You talking
generation.
about me? You talking about me? That's what you're going.
I don't know. It's like my era, like we saw, and I'm not saying that this is right, but like we would see like our grandmothers would never leave our grandfathers. But it's a lot of times it's for specific reasons. Like I'm 56, okay? So my grandmother and other grandmothers, they didn't work. So a lot of times, they may have felt like, where am I going? I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have any money. He takes care of me. So that's the reason why a lot of them didn't go or didn't divorce back in those days or whatever. But then my generation, we kind of have, it's like a gray line. It's like we're in the middle. We're in the middle. So now we've raised these children, our kids, especially our daughters, to be independent, because we don't want to be like grandma and have to stay with somebody that we may not have wanted to stay with, but we had to. Um, so we teach our daughters to be independent. And now it's like I don't need a man. I don't want a man. I got my own money. I got my own place. I got my own everything. There's nothing you can do for me, you know. But then you get older and now you lonely as hell. Or, you just with somebody that just to be with them, you know. I think my generation may have messed up.
Oh, when are we gonna get there? I was wondering if we are gonna get there.
My generation may have messed up this generation below me, so I don't know, because sometimes I hear the conversations and it's like, I don't ever want to say I don't want or need a man. I don't ever want to say that because I do. And when I say I want or need, it's for companionship. I don't want to grow old by myself. I don't, who wants to grow old by themselves?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I don't ever want to say that. I don't think I'll ever have that energy ever. No, I want and I need a man.
No
Okay.
doubt.
Yeah.
Because I was nervous because I was gonna bring it up and I was like, I don't want to get mad at me again because
Oh
we got
no.
I was gonna bring it up because unfortunately, your generation is the I don't need a man generation. It is unfortunate, but I believe it stems from somewhere. I've done research on Gen X, and y'all the first generation to not really be parented. So you had to do everything on your own.
Mhm,
So y'all built this like real hard surface about you, and
mhm,
do everything for yourself, and kind
mhm,
of raise your kids to be the same way. Like
mhm.
you don't have to rely upon nobody, especially no man.
Right.
And like I mentioned earlier, the great society that came after Jim Crow, it kind of destroyed our families with the welfare system and the Section 8 housing, and one of the essential standards to receive that is to not have a husband in the house or
Mhm,
a man in the house. And unfortunately, that we just a lot of us chose it, as well as other races. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying it's just we made a lot of decisions that has us where we are now. That's my point.
that's true.
So, and that's why the purpose of my channel is to talk about the nuclear family, to talk about marriage, is to talk about truth regarding those two issues,
Mhm.
because there's hope. If you want that, it's available for you. You don't have to fear that. And I
Right.
think my generation fears,
Yeah.
but my generation, Gen Zs, we fear marriage and fear that failure of marriage because
Yeah.
we've been told so long that, and seen so many damaged relationships, toxic relationships, controlling relationships. So
Mhm.
we're just in a huge recovery mode right now. And I think conversations like this,
Yeah.
can hopefully bring hope to people that do want that, because at some point, like you mentioned, we all kind of want it. Like once
Right.
you get to a certain age, you like, hey, man, I've
Mhm.
been lied to, kind of, so to speak. But
Mhm. Like my parents, they've been married 63 years,
nice.
and of course they've had ups and downs.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a time, several times that my mama probably hated my daddy, and my daddy probably hated my mama. But they made it through that. I know that, like my mom, she was 18 when they got married.
Nice.
She was 18, my dad was 25. And there's a lot that she feels like she has missed out in life, but it's not like she really want to do it. So she lives life through me. She'll hear my stories and just like, what? Wow. But yeah, I do wish she could have experienced some things, like she always talk about, "Well, I don't know what it's like to have my own place. I don't know what it's like to live by myself." Because she went from her parents' house and to uh, my dad's parents' house while their house was being built.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it was, she don't know.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Part of life is, definitely no shade towards your mom. I can empathize with her. But part of life is kind of like we all want what we don't have, so to speak. And so I wonder, would she trade places with the person who waited, later on in life.
No, no, he wouldn't trade places with anybody because that woman wants for nothing. Okay,
Hey.
she has everything. So no, she would not trade places.
For sure. Well, Chris, I'm going to get you out of here, but I want to ask you, what message or advice do you have for anyone that's currently in a toxic or controlling relationship?
You know, believe them when they show you who they are for real. A lot of times we turn a blind eye, especially women. We turn a blind eye and say, "Oh, he didn't mean it. Oh, girl, he was stressed." Or I'll get over it. No. Mm-mm. Either fix it if it's fixable, or walk away. But I really people should have these conversations before they enter a relationship. Like if if a woman knows that she's triggered by something, she needs to ask that man that she's considering a relationship with. Ask certain questions,
Yeah.
and the man needs to do the same thing. Ask certain questions to make sure you guys are on the same page. Because a lot of times, that representative lasts about 3 or 4 months. Then that true person starts to come out, and you like, by that time, a lot of people they're in love. A lot of people are not, but it's like, well, you know what? A lot of people love.
Mm,
I think it takes longer to fall in love, and being
mm,
in love is totally different from loving.
yeah.
Um, yeah, resolve the problem before it starts. Ask the questions. Ask the hard questions, and look that person in the eye. Don't do it over text. Don't do it over the phone. Be, in front of each other so you can really see the person. And if you feel uneasy about something, just don't even get in the relationship with that person. Move on. There's plenty of men out here. I don't mean who you want, but eventually you'll find them.
Man, that's grown folk relationship talk right there. I love that. You said resolve the issue before they start. That's
Mhm.
very, very powerful. But Bridget, it's been an amazing conversation. I really just enjoy having you on. Hope to have you on again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an opportunity to plug your book and how can people find you overall if you would like. You have the floor.
Yeah. So Bridget Cunningham, you can find my book. It's on Amazon, but of course I prefer you to buy it from my website, bridgetcunningham.com. My Instagram is Bridget Cunningham. My TikTok is The Only Bridgestone. Facebook is Bridget Cunningham.
I love it. I love it, Bridget. Thanks so much once again. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Let's go.